up, my nigga, let's link up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Link Up. I'm your host, Ron the Don. I just came up from an eternal slumber watching that Power. Welcome to another episode of Off the Court. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Ty. Today he repping the Minnesota Vikings, you know what I'm saying? Shout them out. And you also know that he Tatum #1 fan. And with that said, hey, you was going hard for him last podcast. I'm just saying. Hey, we about to get into it though. Don't even worry. Don't even trip. We about to get into it. All right. We coming off the heels of Game 1 of the NBA Finals, in which we saw the Boston Celtics win 107-89 over the Mavericks. I know me and you, we had discussions off the pod of like how this game would go, but for me, this was exactly what I expected. The Celtics, to me, they played like they've been here before, and the Mavericks didn't. That outside of Kyrie and Luka, because Kyrie was aggressive, even though he didn't have a great night, but it just seemed like the Celtics, they had their week off, they studied, and they was prepared. But what were your thoughts overall on this game?
especially in the non-Luka minutes. Like you got to
Yeah.
keep the ball moving. But I saw some positive signs that they can take going forward. I do believe, they can't get to off to the same start because Boston, once they're up, the crowd gets to rocking, and it's hard to fight back against that. But it's some positive things they can take away from game one. Being able being able to fight back and not just get blown out, for the rest of the game. They actually figured some things out in that third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Like I said, I just felt like going into this, being that the Celtics, I think all of them outside of Porzingis, they've been here before. They've been to the finals. They've been on this stage before, so it was really nothing new. Like you said, once the Celtics get the jump on them, they bring the crowd into it. The crowd starts saying all them slurs and whatnot. They bring the crowd into it. Everything get going. Like what was interesting to me, like from I didn't like we was talking about it. I didn't expect Porzingis to come out playing like he did. Like straight away. Like I thought he was gonna take time to get acclimated and warm back up, but I didn't think he was gonna go off the way he did. And for me, like as far as going forward in this series, that's gonna be a big problem for Dallas to have to come back because we saw like Lively get in foul trouble. PJ is too small. Gafford and Maxey had minutes, but they wasn't quite effective. And so I'm curious to see. And then like the whole thing with Dallas bigs, they getting put into pick and rolls every time. Jaylen Brown, he got Lively on him. He going to the cup trying to draw a foul. Same thing with Tatum. So that's one thing to look out for. And I also feel like in that third quarter when they were mounting the comeback, they definitely did find something out. Boston usually plays a switch-heavy defense. So with Luka, he's looking for two people, Al Horford and Drew Holiday. Like Drew Holiday is a great defender, but Luka, because of his size, has the luxury to shoot over him. And then Al Horford, because he's not as young as he used to be, he's at a disadvantage, as far as like moving his feet wise and keeping up with the speed of like Luka and Kyrie for sure. Going into game 2, which is set to take off tonight, do you see anything Dallas can do immediately to kind of, temper this series a little bit, balance it out?
In my opinion, I feel like Luca has to, how can I say this, be more like James Harden, Houston Rockets. Like when he was in that, the years of pick and roll, he was going more towards the basket, trying to draw fouls, second in the defense. I think Luca, though he wants to get those switches, step back three, especially when you're not hitting it, it kind of does you no good. You kind of bailing the defense out. So if you're gonna get that switch, I feel like with Boston, that's pretty much their defense is switch heavy. You gotta go to the paint. You got no matter if Horford's on you, Drew Holiday's on you. Like I say, he's bigger than Drew Holiday. He probably have no choice but to foul him if he gets down low. Horford as well. Also trying to bring Porzingis more so outside, so he can't just sit back there and sag off and block shots. Um, I'm not really surprised. Going back to what you're saying about Porzingis, I thought the challenge was going to be more so on the defensive end, and I think that's where I was more surprised because Porzingis, no matter where he's been, he can shoot. And especially on a team like Boston, where he's gonna get open shots at time to time, like he can shoot, she can shoot. But I thought his defensive ability was gonna be tested a little bit more, and I think Dallas should try to, make sure that Cav, is gonna last, through this whole series. So I would go at him every time. Um, I think it's minor adjustments. Mavs at times wasn't playing hard. They looked like a team that was a little shell shocked in their first quarter. Um, but if they come out playing, how they did in the third from the start of the game, I feel like they have a better chance to win this game, be able to steal this game, and make it more of a series. Because if they don't win tonight, pressure's all on them going home. Um, like I said, they have risen to the occasion every time in these playoffs, but it is the finals. So I feel like a good showing and possibly a steal tonight can make less pressure going back home.
But yeah, for me, it's more about what version of the Celtics we're gonna get. Honestly, are they gonna be locked in like they was game 1, or like we've seen, throughout kind of these playoffs? After they go up big in game 1, and then game 2 is kind of where that drop off is. Like they take their foot off the brake. So I'm looking forward. Like I want to see those guys like really go out there and want it. You know what I'm saying? Um, on the Dallas side, I feel like both Luka and Kyrie were both aggressive. I'm looking at the box score now. Luka took 26 shots, Kyrie took 19, so that's about, what you want. For Kyrie, mostly like the shots just wasn't going down. He had some good looks, it just wasn't going down. Same with PJ and Derrick Jones Jr. Like the three ball wasn't going in. So for me, I would like to see Luca kind of get his guys in the game first, get their rhythm going. Um, activate pick and roll, get Gafford and Lively, ready to play, like basically going for the night, keep them engaged and involved. And then that way, if I feel like the only way that Dallas wins this game potentially is if they keep it close. So if you have, Luca doing what he always gonna do, Kyrie playing a good game, those other guys, active, and they keep it close. It's nothing like fourth quarter Kyrie, fourth quarter Luca, So I just feel like, that's their chance of evening up this series. But with that being said, if Boston do come out and play the way they're supposed to, they are the better team. So it might not matter, either way. But
I
I
agree.
kind of want to get into the quotes that came out after the game. That boy J Kidd, one of the brilliant minds in basketball. One time he had no timeouts, dropped a drink on the court, got a dead ball situation. So he know what he be doing. I say that to say, yesterday in the when they was doing the media day, he basically came out and said that, he feel like on the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown the best player. Now I know me and you got into it, last week about it. I actually, for all you people that think I'm a Tatum hater, I actually think he's the better player. I'm just saying it shouldn't be this perception. That's all I'm gonna say. But then, Tatum came out and said, we know what he trying to do. He trying to stir up the pot. We used to it. We used to being compared. But Drew Holiday came out and doubled down basically on what Jason Kidd said and agreed that Jaylen Brown is the best player. That he was saying how he been bringing on the offensive end and he been guarding Luka on the defensive end. So with all that said, what are your thoughts on this situation and how could it potentially affect this series, if at all?
I mean, as far as with Drew Holiday, I kind of feel like just being a teammate. I think he was kind of saying, and I guess in just regular basketball terms, not really trying to put them against each other, just saying, you guard offense, scoring, playing the best player on the team,
That ain't what I
most
heard.
on most teams that can be considered the best player. Most teams. I don't feel like this is the case. As far as J Kidd, that just nasty work. We know how J Kidd get down. Like that just Tatum and Brown has been a comparison. It's always been you know they don't play well together at first. They don't run sets together or screen for each other. At one point in time, people were calling for you had to trade either one,
Mhm.
because they can't win together. So it's been a narrative that's been out there for a while. I feel like J Kidd has capitalizing it is playing chess, not checkers. And I kind of feel like I don't think it's gonna work, but it kind of draws comparisons for me to the 2011 Heat in the sense of people still trying to, the media per se was still trying to do that. Who team is it? Um, everybody knew Braun was the best player, but Wade was very much accomplished at that point, playing well. If Brown would have gave him a little bit more help, they would have won in 2011. But that's a different subject for a different day. But no, I just feel like it's just an attempt to put them against each other to see if they're gonna play hero ball to prove who's the best. It could work in Dallas' favor. I don't really see it happening because I feel like Tatum and Brown have learned from their past mistakes. But it was definitely strategic by J Kidd.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is good work, J Kidd. That boy J Kidd with the pop, boy. That boy cooking up. Hey,
Yeah.
as Jason Tatum go out there and shoot 25 times, hey, he did his job. That's all I'm gonna say. Bring the assist down. He shot. Let's see here. He shot 16 times last game. Jaylen Brown only shot 12 times. Of course, this was a blowout, so not too crazy. But if he go out and start shot chucking, Jason Kidd did his job. But we gonna move on here since it's the finals. You know, Unfortunately, we done had some greats that came through the game. You know, and that are still in the game who haven't had the chance to win a ring. If there were two players, one present and one past, that you could choose to win a ring, who would it be?
Hmm. It's actually two easy ones. I would say from the past, Allen Iverson. I feel like Iverson is a player that you haven't, people before him, you never seen a player like that. His size, being able to score the way he can, um, do the things on the court he could do. 6 foot even, probably a buck 60, buck 70 at the most. Going there, with giants and consistently dominating in his time in the league. And that's around the time that I really, I knew about Michael Jordan, but that's around the time in my life where I really started to understand basketball and knowing that they built the team of defensive players around him, and he was just a primary scorer. To take that team to the heights that he took them against Shaq and Kobe, and still in game one, and that was a memorable game. I don't know if the viewers out there know, but it's a step over Ty Lue. Um,
But
that's
you not.
legendary. So I feel like it would have been great for him to get at least one. Even though he's iconic, a lot of players pay him respect because he paved the way for a lot of players of what they do now with the tattoos and everything off the court. But I would love to see him get a chance to get one ring. And as far as present, people might call me biased because they know I'm a Heat fan, but I'll have to go Jimmy Butler. Out of all my Heat games that I ever watched, I don't think I ever watched a game where I literally jumped out my seat. And the game that I'm talking about is game 4, I believe, of last year, where he got 56 points. That was just something I never seen before. So that'd be the two players.
I mean, Caleb Martin was going crazy. I'm talking.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
I've never seen even the championship years, man. I never maybe game 6, 2013 when they made that comeback and Ray Allen hit the shot at the end, maybe.
Yeah.
But man, just watching that game 4 last year and the crowd being into it and the steal that he got, I mean that the team got past him for the dunk, him hitting a three off of screen and the step back shot that I thought was a three but ended up being a two, like that was Jimmy at his best. Like, I ain't never seen, Miami crowd get really electrified like that. So
Henny.
um Henny, yeah, like Henny Butler. So those, I would say those are two players that for me that I would have loved. Jimmy, we'll wait and see. He still got a few years, so I'm not gonna count him out yet. But those are two players that I would want past and present to have at least one championship.
Um, to be honest, you took both of mine, but for the sake of the pod, I'm gonna go with my second. Hey man, I'm a big Charles Barkley fan. So if anybody could have won one, it would have been tough. In Jordan era,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been tough. But if I could say anybody outside of AI, probably Charles Barkley. He get clowned on it a lot, so I'd be feeling like, dang, you know, Chuck ain't got no rings. And then as far as present, one of my favorite players ever, that boy Russell Westbrook, man. Like if Brody get a ring, that jump might bring a tear to my eye. Also, honorable mention, that boy D Rose. D Rose got to
Mm,
get one of those.
mm,
D Rose
just
before the injury, on his way. He was on his way. They had the Heatles, but
no, just to let you know, that was my honorable mention. It was a Brody, Russell
oh, okay,
Westbrook. So that was good. That was a good pick for you. Pick
yeah,
by you.
most definitely. I got to go with number 0.
Yeah.
Staying on topic of, finals and championships, we've been hearing a lot of talk, from a former player and a current player, basically on who team would win. Rasheed Wallace came out and said that he basically believes that the 2004 Pistons, who beat the Lakers, in which everybody, deemed the upset, would beat the 2017 Warriors, who was that was the year, yeah, that was Durant, yeah, the year
Yes,
they
sir.
won
Yeah.
with Durant,
Yeah. That's
and
it.
Draymond came out and basically said it ain't happening. Rasheed to get run off the court. What's your take on this? It's pretty interesting.
Rasheed, and I love Rasheed. Rasheed a bad boy. People don't know about Rasheed Wallace, bad boy. But in all due respect, then we got swept. In all due respect, he would have had a better argument against maybe the 2015 Warriors. Because maybe they would have played, hard defense on the Splash Brothers and force Iggy and Harrison Barnes and the rest of the crew to beat them. That's possible. But KD, ain't nobody checking KD. And as much as I love Tayshaun Prince, not happening. Um, shout out Tayshaun. Tayshaun often in Palm Beach hooping, so shout out Tayshaun. But uh, yeah, they wouldn't have had a chance. And you got Ben Wallace at center, who's a non-scoring threat. Um, but he not playing nobody on the perimeter. So it's not like got like a dominant big that the Warriors got to worry about or anything like that. Draymond can definitely guard Rasheed, especially prime Draymond, early Draymond those years. So it's looking like where you getting the scoring from. Um, I think Rip Hamilton, his forte at the time was kind of, a smaller version of Ray Allen in the sense of like not as better, good of a player, I think, but kind of played similar, running off the screens and things like that. But you have Curry that does the same thing, and Klay Thompson that pretty much does the same thing. So it's like you're not going to beat them, I think, condition wise, because that's where Rip Hamilton got a lot of his points, where people were tired of guarding him. So he'd come down off the pin downs and the curls, and he'd get those open shots. And at the end of the day, three is more than two, so they wouldn't have a chance. And if they weren't hitting the shots, they just throw it to KD, and that's a bucket. So yeah, they would have, in all due respect, they would have got swept. And I don't think a game would have been close, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree. With all due respect, though, I know them boys about their business, but there wouldn't have been no big shot Bob, if they faced each other, because there wouldn't have been no big shot to take. Like you said, it wouldn't have been close at all. Like we talking about the three greatest shooters in NBA history: Steph, Clay, and KD. Like Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton was not, putting up numbers with them. I'm sorry. Like I will say this. I would like as far as roughing up the game, mucking up the game, I could see it. I don't think it'd be a sweep. It'd be Warriors in 5, but because I feel like just the physicality will wear down on them for one game at least. You know, I don't think it'd be a sweep. I'd say, but yeah, it's no debate. Like that Warriors team was too good, too good.
The only why I say a sweep because I remember I think it was the 2017 finals, I believe, and I think it was game 3. No, was it? No, the 2018 finals, one of them. And I think it was game 3, and Steph and Clay couldn't hit nothing. And literally, the only reason why they stayed in the game and won at the end is because they was able to just throw it to KD. It's just like the ultimate mismatch, and it's like KD, especially in the Warrior years, and like I said, we talking in past tense, but since it's brought up, if you gave me that same KD, they can have an off shooting night and they can still win because it's nobody that you have to fear on the other end. Like they went up against Braun, so that in itself is like if you have an off
Yeah.
night, he definitely gonna will you to a victory. As much as I love Chauncey Billups, he not scaring nobody. So it's like, yeah, you don't got enough offense. Like it's not happening.
I mean, like I get it, but like as we seen, well, basically post injury, like the secret to getting KD off his square is to be physical with him. So that's why I said what I said. But you know
Who
they
who
I,
think of is who you got to guard? Tayshaun Prince. Like it ain't you're not out physicking him. That's the thing. Like
nah
you have
they'll
to.
probably put Sheed on him if anything, just to
and
make
they
it
and
physical.
we gonna switch with Draymond. Like I don't have to guard you. That's the point. I can go stand in the corner where
Hey,
Rip
bro.
Hamilton or Tayshaun Prince. I don't have to guard Sheed. That's the problem. Like for LeBron, he put so much pressure on the defense that you're gonna eventually get switched on him. Like
Hmm.
you don't have to switch on Sheed. And if she gonna beat me shooting 10 threes, I'll take it. But that ain't happening.
Yeah, I mean,
None,
respectfully,
no
I don't
offense.
even know if this might sound crazy, but I don't even know if them Bulls could have beat them boys. Respectfully,
That's yeah, that's tough. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't putting nothing
hey,
against
Mike.
Mike I don't
Me
care who you got.
personally, even though he was before my time, from the footage I seen, that man Mike the goat. But like I just feel like scoring wise and just everything included, like the Warriors, that team was OD.
The only one I would put it'll be more of a contest. I would say is because you can have Scotty guard KD. You're not gonna stop him, but he's 6'8", he up there too. Um, and I want to. Well, it depends on which championship year you're talking about, but you could throw out Harper on Curry, and let Jordan be Jordan on Clay. I think I won't say evenly, but defensive wise, I feel like they can match up a little bit better. And I don't feel like nobody's guarding Jordan on the other side as good as Clay is. That's far people chicken over. That's easy work. So Mike Jordan's prime, like I ain't putting nobody against Jordan. You got to give me an All Star team, then I might consider it.
That Warriors team was damn near.
Then them, but the 5 man was lacking a lot. So
Yeah,
so
but
you gotta give me a dominant big to go enough.
hey, they had JaVale.
He'll get started on that.
But speaking of JaVale, he didn't just win a ring with the Warriors. He also won a ring with the Lakers, a team that's been the topic of discussion for a numerous amount of reasons, starting with the head coach. And, it was reported by Shams that the Lakers was zeroing in on JJ Redick as the potential coach. But then another report came out and said that they, are looking to get Coach Hurley to come from UConn to coach the team. You have people interviewing like, Heat assistant coach Chris Quinn, James Borrego, who AD was vouching for. It's a lot of messy things going on in Los Angeles. You got the topic of will he or won't he as far as LeBron, as far as re-signing, what they going to do with their draft picks as far as, Bronny James. What is your thoughts on all this, Lakers drama?
We were speaking about nasty work earlier. This is nasty work by the Lakers, knowing that the Celtics in the finals. This is just nasty work.
Oh, yeah.
I, you know, putting out the news that you were zeroing in on Hurley the day game one of the NBA finals, like they know what they're doing. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but as far as the coaching situation, I still believe it's going to be JJ Redick. I feel like the Hurley news is kind of smoke. And sometimes they say where there's smoke, there's fire. But in this situation, I don't believe they're really going for Hurley. I think he's a candidate, but I really think the JJ Redick connection with LeBron, I really believe that angle that they're playing. I feel like it's the reason why this podcast came about. The reason why he's breaking down X's and O's, to the point where in the latest podcast they're doing, they put them on the screen so you can actually see. If you didn't know anything about basketball, you can literally learn. You probably can't play, but you can literally learn just by watching that podcast, which is, brilliant, by the way. But I really feel like, JJ to the Lakers is, going to happen. I feel like he would have the respect of the players, being a former player, being a recent former player. They know he's smart. I don't know how AD feel about it per se. That's a different conversation. But I kind of feel like that all this Laker news is on purpose. We'll probably get into more of a deep dive of the Lakers once the finals over with. But as of right now, it's a lot that's going down in LA right now. I just feel like they're trying to build headlines at this point. But
It's so crazy that you said that because I never even thought of it that way. Like now that you say that, it do make sense. They arch rival is in the finals and they taking all the attention. It was so funny because Kendrick Perkins said like LeBron need to stop making everything about him.
exactly.
But then yet on ESPN, that's all they talk about is LeBron. So, but it's so crazy too, because I remember seeing a report, I think like a couple weeks ago, they say LeBron's not involved in the coaching hiring process. Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. But to be honest, like I agree. I think they wait until the finals is over. Obviously, JJ's still at ESPN on the broadcast, so it wouldn't look, you know, good if they did that. Also, I just feel like for the Lakers, they gotta stop. I hate to say it, but you gotta stop letting Brown run the team, man. Because like UD, speaking of ESPN, UD said something very like something very important. Imagine the Lakers lose a game in the middle of the season, and then JJ and LeBron go do a podcast about like certain plays, and they hate when players like all that stuff they be saying on the podcast. It's gonna rub people the wrong way,
Yeah.
and then it's like tensions start with AD. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he a star player too, so he should be able to get some say so too. The fact that Coach Borrego was a former assistant with his time on the Pelicans. That's important too. So AD might want some say so. I just feel like, also I personally don't know JJ, so like I'm just a observer from the outside. But like his demeanor and like his, I don't know how that would get over with everybody that's not LeBron. Like the way he like comes off to people and everything. Like I could be wrong. He could probably be a great player coach, but I could see that that potentially like them being so close being a problem. Like just me personally.
Mm. Yeah. That he would have to. I think a part of it, he would have to win over the locker room. I just feel like I think the Lakers are envisioning JJ as their modern day Pat Riley. Granted, Pat Riley had you know Magic Johnson, and and then once LeBron leaves, it definitely no Magic Johnson and walking through the door. I don't think, but I think they just think he's he has the brilliance of basketball. Um, I've ever since JJ has retired, I've been watching his podcast, Old Man in Three. Especially when COVID first started, it's great podcast listen to. He still does it, but you can tell he does know basketball. Um, so I think it's from an X's and O's standpoint, it'll be probably a good hire. But like I said, it's managing personalities and winning over the
It's
locker room,
different.
and it's different. But hey, I think LeBron got a good, I'd say at least 2 more years. I think. So he should he give him a 2 year lease at that point. And what he do from there is whatever. But I wouldn't be mad at that hiring though.
It's so funny because I don't know the exact quote, but I don't know if you watch KG Certified, his podcast that he do with Paul Pierce.
I can't listen
But
to Paul Pierce, but yeah, I know what it
hey,
is.
as a Heat fan, even though we supposed to hate them guys, I won't lie, them boys is funny, bro.
mm
Like
mm
KG is not as big of a like trash talker as like Paul Pierce is,
mm
or not even trash talking. Paul Pierce just be saying some
mm
outlandish things.
Well, I
But
can't listen to
they was talking about like this whole situation and put like JJ potentially being the coach and like the whole Mind the Game podcast. And I don't know the quote exactly, but it was just funny because KG was like, we know LeBron, he great, but JJ Redick up here talking like he was somebody, like he was good in the league or something. Like I was like, oh man,
no,
like
but they know this, and people, even casual people, know this. Usually, I don't know why it works out like this, but usually in every sport,
the role
um,
players end up being the best coaches.
exactly. So
Yeah.
the thing of saying, he was like this or he was like that, that don't really mean nothing. Some people can coach it better than they can do it. So
Yeah.
that's just what it is.
Like I
I'm just
said,
saying,
I'm just an observer. Sorry to
yeah.
cut you off. Like I
No,
said,
no,
I'm
you
just an
good.
observer. But it probably got to do with like the whole like him and Doc situation. To be honest, it probably.
Yeah, I mean
That's
that's
probably why they
you know
even said
they,
that.
you got Austin Rivers still catching strays to this day. So it's just what it is, man. Like
That
I
boy on
think
the ropes.
that I think JJ, even if JJ doesn't get this job, which I believe he will, I feel like JJ will get a job down the line just because he's actually passionate about it. Like
Yeah,
you could tell that he would, you know, if something don't go right, he'll probably be locked in the office watching film till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, trying to figure out something. Like he just
like
seems
the
like
next tips.
he cares that much about the game of basketball. So
But like this my thing though. Like when he was interviewing, I don't know if it was last off season, or no, yeah, last off season because what's his name? Nick Nurse started coaching the 76ers this season. So this past off season when he was interviewing for the job, I was hoping he got it because I would love to see JJ on a young team. I just feel like with the Lakers and LeBron, everything is always going to be championship expectations. So if you don't come in there like you realistically facing a 2 year window, so even for Coach Hurley, even for JJ, if it don't work out, especially like in the next 2 years, like he said, LeBron probably got another 2 years. I think he gonna try to push it out till Bryce come in the league, maybe depending on like how like LeBron's performing in his game. Um, but like after that, JJ gonna be going regardless because the Lakers are gonna look to go in a new direction. So it's like I just feel like this job opening for the Lakers personally. If I was a coach out there, like I wouldn't unless you just extremely confident. I wouldn't,
I though I agree with you, I feel like no matter who the coach that the Lakers decide to choose, I feel like this coaching hire will have to be something different. Because it's been a revolving door when it comes to coaches for the past few years, and it's like, what are you accomplishing if you fire another coach? It's like, Braun's on his way out, in so many words, you're gonna have to retool the roster anyway to kind of play, fit AD and play around AD's strength. So it's like I feel like whoever they decide to coach, from the media perspective, it might be a 2 year window or that they ought to win now. But I think they got to pick a coach that they feel like, all right, I'm gonna let you kind of work with the present and also build for the future. In a sense, give them more of a internal, maybe 4 to 5 year window versus a media perspective 2 year window. Even though I do agree the pressure will be 2 years of bust, but I feel like if the Lakers don't win in 2 years, to fire him, like nobody's gonna sit there and say LeBron at 43 is gonna just be lead teams to, like, no, let's be realistic. So I feel like they should look for somebody who can coach now, maybe who can relate to the players now, put in different systems or things to help them now, and also develop for the future as well.
That was the whole idea, that they putting out, via Woj is like the idea of bringing in Dan Hurley is so that like because in college he's a good development coach, they want to bring him in to develop, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and all the younger guys. So that's kind of where they're like looking, in that respect. But I just feel like even if the way like coaches get blamed in the NBA, I just feel like if you're not winning or anything like that, and you don't come in when the team is already bad, it's 2 year window.
Yeah, I agree. I feel
Um,
like JJ probably can do the same thing, but it's just gonna be interesting. After the last game of the final, that probably that first week, just to see if it was
shoot,
all
probably
smoke and
the next
mirrors.
day.
Probably next day, but to see if this Hurley thing was all smoke and mirrors and JJ was actually the pick, or it was actually something to these rumors that came out lately. It's gonna be interesting.
Speaking of rumors, you think they draft Bronny James? They got the 17th pick and I think the 55th pick, I believe.
I think they will want to draft Bronny. I think they're angling to draft Bronny. But see, this is where I probably couldn't be a GM or owner. because I would pick Bronny just for the hell of it. I would pick Bronny probably not in the first round, but I would definitely pick Bronny. If I had the first pick of the second round, I just pick Bronny for the hell of it. Just because, just because, like the angle, the angle that they're trying to do. So,
Yeah,
um, I just want Bronny honestly to go somewhere that he can, develop. Whether it's with the Lakers, whether it's somebody else, that's going to actually take the time to try to develop him, where he can be at least maybe a rotational player. Because he does have ability. I just, I don't think his NBA starter ability or all star potentially. I don't see that. I could be wrong, but at least like I said, we see the Heat system. They're known for developing players.
San
Just
Antonio.
San Antonio, that's another good one. Just somewhere he can go somewhere where it's not really the pressure, the expectations. I mean, he already have the pressure because of his dad, but somewhere he can really take time to try to grow as a player, and not somewhere where they're gonna throw him out there and he's gonna look crazy. Because once you look
Almost,
crazy and you go down to the G League, most times you never hear about that player again. So just somewhere
yeah.
he can develop.
I almost made a bunch of enemies. I almost said there's one team that he definitely shouldn't go to, but I'm not gonna
Nah,
say it.
don't do it. Don't do
I was gonna
it.
say I ain't trying to have them people on my back.
Yeah, no.
But speaking of the Lakers and the purple and gold, our guy Jimmy Butler was sitting courtside to watch his number one fan, Mrs. Cameron Brink, take the court as he was dressed down in the Cameron Brink jersey. They got Jimmy on the sideline interview in which he came out and said the number 22 looks good in purple and gold. Um, you know, you got that on top of the fact that, the 76ers are very interested to get him. I'm hearing teams like the Warriors and the Cavaliers are interested in, Jimmy's services and are willing to give him that extension if the Heat don't. Pat Riley already came out and said it's not something that they looking to discuss this year, perhaps next year. In this instance, do you think this is just Jimmy trolling, or is it Jimmy being serious? To quote Pat Riley.
Jimmy trolling. Like
Yeah.
Jimmy definitely trolling. Could things change down the line? I mean, it's Jimmy. You got to keep in mind it's Jimmy. I think he's actually happy, being in Miami. Of course, playing for the Heat, competing, possibly trying to build it back to possibly a championship contender. I'm pretty sure he wants that too. But I think he thoroughly enjoys the lifestyle of Miami, the
Yeah.
access to the soccer, and amongst the other things that you can do down here, pretty much year round because don't snow down here. So um, I think he might be putting a little fuel to the fire, but that's Jimmy. You got to know Jimmy, and one thing about Pat not gonna move just because you trolling.
Yeah. No
Um,
nonsense.
it's funny though, it's for the Heat fans that may not be aware of the levels that Jimmy might take you through.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Jimmy, in Chicago and Minnesota and even in Philly, the brief time he was there, this is classic Jimmy. So
Yep.
um, I don't think it's more to it, not to read into it. Um, but we'll see down the line if there is actually a standoff prior to the trade deadline. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully we make a big move where nobody even think about this later on. But it just at bottom line, Jimmy just having fun.
I ain't gonna lie. This is one of them things. Am I gonna read into it? Nah, because I remember last summer when Jimmy said he came out and said he wanted that Jaylen Brown type bag. So that's just Jimmy being Jimmy.
Yeah,
Clearly, like he loves the city of Miami. If he could choose, he would stay. But I also think Jimmy's no fool. If he gonna leave, he gonna get his money, but it's also he gonna want to try to go to somewhere that he can compete at the same time. Now, whether the Heat gonna do that or not, I could see them being petty and like we just gonna trade you for the package we think is best. And like me personally, even though Philadelphia got 3 picks, I doubt they send him anywhere east. I think like if they were to trade him, he going out west for sure. But that's another topic for another day.
I just think the teams that you even mentioned, they don't have the package for it. Maybe Cleveland, but Philly is like you give me picks. Like what I'm gonna do with that? Like
Put that for Donovan Mitchell.
I mean you can, but there's no guarantee you're gonna get Donovan. That's the thing.
I
Like
mean,
you'll take a
yes,
risk.
but like I'm saying, and like flip it for a star player like a Trey Young, or
But
if you even want him.
at that point, you might well put everybody on the phone to do a 3-team trade because there's no
Right.
guarantee. So if I get these picks from you, who's to say Cleveland like or Donovan like nah, I'll just stay in Cleveland, and then we stuck with the hero show, and Lord have mercy. I usually go to one Heat game and get a game a year, but we get stuck with that. I'll take next year off.
I'm not gonna lie, as somebody who used to watch every single game after Dwayne Wade left Miami, I don't want to go back to them times, bro.
No, that
Seeing,
was hard.
seeing,
That was hard.
I love James Johnson, Tyler Johnson,
Whew.
but like we had a lineup of Whiteside, a Carl White, bruh. Like those days.
Wayne
Poor
Ellington,
Dragic, bruh.
Wayne
Oh no,
Ellington.
Wayne Ellington was saving grace. I ain't even
No, he
gonna lie.
was,
He was the only good thing about the Heat. That him and Josh Richardson,
and that's the
the only
bad
two
thing.
good
And
things.
and I like Wayne Ellington, but if that's your good saving grace, that just show you how bad it was down there at that time.
So
That's all.
please, like, if it ain't nothing out there, just extend the man. But I feel like this is all gonna come to like around the deadline. It's all gonna if the Heat haven't made any significant moves and they don't win, Jimmy gonna want that contract. But the thing is, after this summer, if Bam make all NBA or wins Defensive Player of the Year, his extension is gonna go up. He's eligible to sign it this summer, but I don't think he's gonna do it just based off the fact he can get more money if after this year he makes all NBA or wins Defensive Player of the Year. So with his money coming onto the books, you still got Tyler, you still got Duncan Robinson, Jovic gonna be up for an extension, then Jaime down the line. You really gonna have to really consider what you gonna do, with Jimmy, because if you extend him with that team, everybody locked in. You can't do nothing with the new rules and the new, second apron and all that. That's gonna be the team until Jimmy retire. So
I see this is the part why I love you as a Heat fan, because you just throwing out names like you talking about Jovic extension. Like, you give me 15 points first.
I'm
You
saying
got me on Jaime because Jaime gonna get better, but Jovic, come on now.
but I'm saying he gonna like the Heat gonna have to make a decision.
Yeah, we're gonna give him.
He gonna
Yeah,
be he gonna like say if he a restricted free agent, then like you can let him walk. But I'm just saying like they're gonna have questions to answer. Like it's gonna be, do we want to go with the future or do we want to? That's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying
no,
it's guaranteed the man gonna get a contract. Hey,
no. I get we get.
I'm a number 5 fan now.
I
I
get you.
take him over. I take him over Jaime.
Oh, yeah, you keep telling me
Well,
you
I
tripping.
stamp it. Stamp that.
I keep
Stamp
telling you
that.
tripping. Boy,
Stamp that.
he better stamp that this year, cause boy, you gonna look real crazy. But anyway,
All
my
right.
point, they gotta look. They gotta find them a well. I don't know where the well coming from, but if you finna rely on Jovic, so what I seen from Jovic, he's honestly he's a good fit.
I'm
Um,
about to say,
he's a good
this man
fit.
acting like
He's
Jovic is trash.
no, he's not trash, but he's not moving the needle. I need somebody to
No,
move the
he
needle.
not. But
He's
he,
not
as
moving the
far as
needle.
fit next to, like, as far as Bam timeline, that's all I'm saying. Like, people on Bam timeline, like, Jaime kind of makes it easier because he, like, Jimmy Light. So, like, if Jimmy was to leave, it's like, okay, we got Jaime who kind of do a little bit of the same stuff, but not to the highest degree. We don't know if he going to get there. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm saying, like, Jovic is, like, he fits a different need. Now, if they go draft a center this draft, it'd be different.
I just want to hear what you say. Jovic like. I just want to hear you. Because you say
Who
what
you
you.
want?
I want the comparison right now.
Who, Jovic?
Yeah.
I could see him being like at best, probably like Gallinari
Hmm.
at best.
Hmm. Interesting. I actually can see that. I can see that. I can see that. You know, Gallinari
But
he ain't never moved no needles either. So
nah,
that's
he
good.
didn't though.
That's a good
I don't
comparison.
know. Jovic, you just look at him and you just feel like Brett could be like he could do it all.
Hmm. I I
Like he
feel
got the size, the ball handling.
no.
That's just me.
No, I
You know,
mean he's
he
solid.
he could, he seemed like he got walking triple double potential.
All right, that's what we going. That's what. I knew. The longer we go on this pod, you gonna get a little outrageous. Boy.
All right, moving on to the WNBA, we got a couple things to get to. Earlier this week, Miss Kennedy Carter, notorious for shoving Caitlin Clark in a dead ball situation. She was being harassed outside her hotel. Somebody following her around with cameras, and everybody surrounding the situation was supporting her. What do you think of this situation? I I'm not gonna say it's hilarious because I'm not trying to get canceled, but it's it's just yeah. The longer this pod go on, I'm gonna start talking crazy.
Yeah, they coming after you, boy, because I ain't saying nothing.
Hey,
Let's go ahead. They gonna be, hey, your
dude.
show, your floor. Now I'm playing. Whew. I'm learning about this in real time, actually. I just feel like it's unfortunate. It's like taking something that happened on the court off the court. Kind of like kind of like kind of like sometimes with rap beef. You know, it just leave it in the sport.
It's
You
not
ain't
funny, y'all. It's
listen.
not funny.
You ain't got to be waiting out somebody hotel call at people house. Don't do that. It's just basketball. Even though it was a non-basketball play, it just don't do that. You know, not that ain't good. Just leave that alone.
Hey, I'm gonna just say this though, like all jokes aside, they gonna kind of have to get used to like the cameras being in their face now. With the eyes that Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson, Aaliyah Edwards. All the eyes that they bring into the league. On top of that, with Aja Wilson, Diana Taurasi, you know, all of those ladies. All that media attention is gonna come. Now this that don't mean like harassment is okay. It's never okay. I know I'm laughing and trolling. It's just like, come on, bro. Come on.
Nah, for real, serious situation. I don't
All
want to
right.
laugh like that.
Serious, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Serious
we
situation.
gotta put no real talk. We gotta protect our women. It shouldn't
Most
get to that.
definitely,
Shouldn't get to that point.
most definitely. In all seriousness, we love women on this podcast. We want them protected, safe. No matter the situation, nobody should be harassed because they of something that they did on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even that serious of a play. Like Caitlin Clark got up, she wasn't hurt. Dirty play, whatever you call it. You know, roughing her up. It is what it is. But also, speaking of Caitlin Clark. Um, she was snubbed for Team USA. Now this came off,
Snub, snub.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Um, it was said that two, veterans on the team felt like due to Caitlin Clark's insane following and fanfare that it would cause a lot of drama due to her not being able to get the minutes that fans would want her to see. Um, I think it's pretty ironic because it's actually because she's not on the team is causing all her fans to act out anyway. But what are your thoughts on this situation?
I had to try to go to the roster because I want to
Nah,
I
the
honestly,
roster's solid now. It's stacked now.
no, exactly. I feel like I don't think it's much of a snubbing as more as is it's not her time. I feel like the people that they have on this roster are established. Most of them have already competed in Olympic play.
Mhm.
And if people crazy about the physicality that she's going through now, what you think is gonna happen on the Olympics?
Yeah.
Men and women is more physical. Um, but like I said, looking at the roster, I don't see. I mean, you can make a case of maybe a couple people you could take off, but for the most part, there I don't see really a place for her, honestly. Not on this year's team. I mean, I guess because they're growing the game, you can make an argument for that. More eyes, more attention. But that's your only real reason of putting her on that team.
For me, I don't even want her on the team. Um, and I say that to say, you look at like her whole year, like she's only got like a little like break time. So the when the Olympics start, it's like she coming off of competing at college, going through the draft process, straight into the WNBA, and now on the Olympic team. It's just too much at one time. So I feel like she, you know, need to rest. Not try to do too much so early. And honestly, like I get it. Her fans are mad because a lot of people are tuning in to just see her, but at the same time, just let it be. This won't be the last Olympics. And then, no, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up because but
No, don't do it. Don't
eh,
do it.
but yeah, just let it be. She definitely gonna be on there. The way her game is progressing, she just dropped a 30 piece the other night. Um, her time will come. And so will Angel Reese, um, Cameron Brink, and all of those ladies. Their time will come. Right now, Breonna Stewart, Aja Wilson, Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, like all these ladies, they done put the time in, they done put the work, and they solidified. Like they can go get it done. So
If I'm not,
and the chemistry is already there.
if I'm not mistaken, Diana Taurasi is on this team again.
Uh, let's see. I'll say the whole team. You got Ariel Atkins, Shakira Austin, Aaliyah Boston, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Ryan Howard, Sabrina Ionescu, Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum, Breonna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Aja Wilson, and Jackie Young. So they already like guard
Yeah,
heavy.
yeah.
So
Diana Taurasi this most likely be her final Olympic, so I see why she's
yeah,
on the team. I believe. I just know she's getting towards the end of her career. And I'm all in favor of, especially when it comes to the Olympics, of kind of letting somebody get that last opportunity when they've done so much of the game. And I remember watching Diana Taurasi at UConn, being a star, winning championship. And she's done a lot to grow the game of the WNBA. I believe she at this time she's the all-time leading scorer for the WNBA. So um, yeah, I feel like that team is just solid, and like I say, it's about a couple people that's gonna be coming off by the time of the next Olympics. And like I say, the Angel Reese's, the Cameron Brink, Caitlin Clark, they'll have their time. They just right now it's not their time.
and with that said, it's about time we get up on out of here. It's obviously apparent that your boy is getting a little hanger around here, talking reckless. So we gonna try to wrap this up. But in all seriousness, man, shout out to everybody watching the pod, man. Appreciate the love and support. We just humbly ask for any feedback, whether it's good, bad, in between. We ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all your podcast platforms. Follow us on the gram, man. We're gonna have that information up, in the bio if you're watching on YouTube. And in the bio if you listening to this on the platform. I am your host, Ron the Don. my co-host Ty.
Hey, dog. Yeah.
Trip forever and I'm just not getting started. That's the one. Yeah.